Party people in the place to be, live from 58 Dream Street. We're James with Games. Happy Sunday, folks. Here we are. I'm wearing my other new gray pullover, or zip-up sweater that I got for my 39th birthday yesterday. Hold on, just mess around here a little bit. Wait a minute. Oh, I see what I'm doing. I'm doing this backwards. I've got my setup all wrong. I forgot how I do things when I'm playing a modern game that won't look horrible. Hey, Cedric! If I stretch it out on my big monitor. The value proposition is just not there to have, say, Ultima Underworld 2 displayed on the big monitor, stretched out well beyond any resolution that they could have ever reasonably expected their game to be played at. So I got to turn, I got to reposition the camera. All right, there we go. Very good. Very good. All right, cool. That'll do. That'll do. The microphone is here near me. I can see, of course, that the switch is not displaying because I did not do any of the work required to get that working before I started the stream. There we go. Done. It only took 2 clicks. So, had the Jackbox Party Pack open because some friends were over to celebrate my birthday yesterday in the evening. And before we went to the local board game cafe, which we don't go to nearly often enough, given that we live literally like a block away from it. By some measurements, not even a block. But we went with a bunch of people, had a great time, played 2 games that I'd never played before, one of which was excellent, one of which was okay. And we really just played it because I was going to try another game that was recommended to me. But when it was there at the start, but I wasn't going to hoard the game while we played another game for an hour. And then when I went back, it wasn't there. So I grabbed a comparable game and it was okay. So the really cool game was called Hues and Cues. I guess they just wanted as pure of a rhyme as possible. Like they wanted the 4-letter words, hues and cues. Because I don't understand why it's not hues and clues. Because what happens is there's a big color board, and then just on your turn as the cue giver, you pick a card that has 4 color squares on it, because the board is just a big grid of different colors that, blend into each other like a bunch of paint samples. And you get 4 options, and you pick which one you want to try to get the other players to guess, and then you get to give a 1-word clue. So you could say like banana if you have a shade of yellow, and then everyone on their turn in clockwise order places one of their pieces on the grid on the color they think is the most banana-y. And then if you want, you can give a second cue, which is 2 words. You can give a 2-word clue. So you could be like high noon, like a really bright yellow, maybe you're trying to get across. And then everyone plays again. Hey, British. No, don't worry. Yes, I didn't forget, although I haven't gotten to it yet. But I think this will probably be I always say shorter stream than don't do it. But I have other things on my agenda for today that I do want to attend to, and that is one of them. So the time will come. I also want to get those Dark Sun character creation rules up on the Discord for anyone who has redeemed the Create a Dark Sun Party member channel point reward, since we're gradually closing in on actually playing Dark Sun. So I got to get those 2 things done today. And I will. I hope. And if not, very soon. We don't, British. And you are, as always, totally welcome. I'm not sure what multi and dual classing options are available. If we want to have another James character, for me to make him just like the Avatar, but we'll find out. We'll see what we can do. I'm sure that you've got the channel points to redeem. Yeah, and so what was I saying? Oh yeah, so everyone's placed their guesses. That's the one. All right, now there's only one slot left. And if nobody takes it, I can create a character. That'll be fine. So, what was I saying? Very good. You know, if I was just creating a party from scratch, to stick with the gimmick, I would put a James in there. I don't always do that when I play games on my own, but sometimes I do. Yeah, so everyone's made their guess at the color, and then for the reveal, there's like a 3x3 scoring frame, and you put it down so that the correct color is right in the middle. And then a person who guessed in the middle gets 3 points. And then anybody else inside the frame, but not in the middle, gets 2 points. And then anyone else touching the outside of the frame, it's true. It's very true. I've had a few instances in my life, British, where I've, in the course of describing some stream-related anecdote, I say, and then British said, and then more than one person has gone like, oh, well, gee, I can guess where he's from. I have to be like, actually, no, you can't. He's German. Yeah. Anyway, and then the person who was giving the clues gets a point for everyone who was in the frame. So they obviously have an incentive to give good clues, and everyone wants to guess well. And it was neat. I had a really good time with it. It was fun. Good time. Good birthday. Made some excellent Lolo 3 progress yesterday. A relatively short session that saw me complete 6 of the remaining 10. 6 of the remaining 10 puzzles in the game. Oops, I'm not going to make. I might as well look at my notifications, though. Oh, someone played another... hey. Hey, I got a new like for the Tomb in the Sunken Forest. Some more people... Oh, these aren't even new notifications. Really, only this one is new. Cool. I wonder, I guess, if part of the discovery algorithm is just that you get rewarded for playing, and your courses are more likely to get played if you're putting in the work to play other people's courses. So here we are. We've been playing Super 1-1 World. A suite of courses, an 8-world suite of courses. Quote of the day: Wer andrend begreift, was tut, bleibt unter seinem Niveau. By Martin Valser. Roughly translates to, who understands what he does constantly stays below his level. Haha. That was made for me. That's an aphorism after my own heart. Yeah, so, okay, why did I come here? Oh, I came here, of course, to make my way back to this creator who, from somewhere, I got the idea this creator's name is warspyking. And I wouldn't have just made that up, so I'm probably right. But if I'm wrong, someone please correct me. Because this Super 1-1 World is so good. And I want to be giving credit where it's due. So here we are, World 4 of Super 1-1 World. If you aren't familiar yet, you're about to get familiar. If you don't know, now you'll know. The idea here is it is a suite of levels that are all variations on the original 1-1. Lifting my desk a little here. Maybe improve my eye line situation. Yeah. So one thing I want to praise especially, I think the world design has been very good, because every time there's a branch and the unnecessary branch, those are absolutely the hardest ones. I don't even remember why. So I'm going to take a glance at this just to remember what it is. Oh. Okay. I need, at some point in the near future, to educate myself on the provenance of everything that's going on here so that I can talk about it correctly. Suffice to say, it's a really cool suite. Whether it was curated or entirely designed, it's well done. It's a good application of both just some creative gimmicks, but also some... Oh, I remember this. This is hard. Well, obviously, I already said that part. Okay. I don't think I'm going to do this right now, but let me try one of these time attack sections and see if I can get anywhere close. Ah, no. Not even. Had to get through this door before that bomb went off and made it impossible to fall. Came nowhere as close. I'll try one. Let me just try them all to remind myself how cruel they all are. And maybe someday this summer, I'll hunker down and do just a real grind of a stream where I barely speak. My hands are soaked with sweat. And breaking my controller in half. Trying to get it done. I feel like maybe I could pull that one off. I mean, in theory, I can eventually pull all of these off. But I don't know. We'll get back on track in a moment. Ah! Had I timed that one a bit better. What I was hoping to do was hit the bricks, go down, hit the Goomba, and then use that momentum to really make a push for it. Okay. I don't need to taunt myself with the exactitude of all 4 of the rooms. Suffice to say, they all require, if not like perfect moves. Hey, Pattern Blue, welcome. If they don't require perfect moves, they certainly require really, really good, really close to perfect. There's very little allowance. Let me just now, before anyone has given me cause to, I'm gonna grab a note card in case anyone pops up and is like, hey, play this level. I'll write the code down. We'll check it out. Okay. All right. So this is where I stopped last time, but I stopped at a point where I developed the confidence that I was going to be victorious eventually. The good news, because you've noticed I've already missed a spiny. The very, very good news. Oh, hey, that's fun. The 1-up block is flying along here. The very good news for players of this level is you don't need to get all the spinies on the first go. You do have to get them all. And it's real bad to get stuck up here, because then all the spinies are getting their shots off, and you don't have a lot of maneuvering room. But there's a door at the end that will let me go back to the start. So I get as many as I can on my first go. On my last attempt last time, I did manage to get a majority on the first go, which I didn't quite do this time. But that's a good start. We're off to a good start. Okay, so I'm gonna need a third trip. There's a limit, obviously the time limit imposes indeed. Just grind them down. Like the siege of Leningrad. Or any siege, I suppose. All siege warfare is based on the idea of wearing them down. Okay, well, we definitely need a third trip where I need to follow my own advice of getting down there. But hopefully I can at least get the other giant one. Yep. And I didn't die, although I came awfully close right there to get myself stuck. Okay. Alright. There's only 6 left. So perhaps I'm going to get this on my first go today. The real tricky part. Ooh, I didn't. And that'll be a real kick in the pants if I run out of time, because there's one spiny hidden in the subworld. But if I complete it, I got to come back in and see if there's a subworld. How it worked out. Okay, these guys are tough ones to get. And in fact, I killed myself trying to adjust there. I should have just made one last round. Got impatient. Okay. Well, so much for beating it on the first go. Ah. Oh no. Oh no. It's good to manage to be on the down area, but you wanted to do it while getting the spinies, which is not quite what I'm doing here. Uh-oh. Okay. Okay. Okay, this is actually a better first run than last time already. Okay. Okay, only 12. That... I certainly can, and certainly ought to, Cedric. And I ought to just be like, on that note, just why am I not sending charged shots forward at random? No, no, don't kill me, don't kill me. Okay. Ah! Ugh! Well, that was unnecessary because I had already cleared that part out. Oops. Ha! Well, I didn't get that one, but I was off to a good start there. And... oh, I'm still alive. Oh, so obviously the charge shots stop when they destroy a brick or a block, but they do not stop when they hit enemies. So that's another good case for just putting out charge shots into the air. Ah, thank goodness for the scroll stopping there. Okay, that was a good first pass. The heart of it is just don't do anything foolish. Arg. Okay, third pass just to get that one. Ah! I really wanted to clear those both. My ambitions exceeded my grasp. But this is eminently doable, and therefore not frustrating. Having fun. I managed to... I didn't have a ton of time because it was my birthday. I had to, you know, celebrate with people and see my friends and my loved ones and play Lolo here with you all. But I also did manage, because I got the Princess Peach Showtime game for my birthday. And I managed to play it a little. It's a lot of fun. What a charming little game. It is, as far as like the technical performance goes, not really up to Nintendo's general quality standards. It chugs a little here and there, especially during like cinematics such as they are. I felt that one slipping away from me, even though it was on a really good run. But it kind of like, it functions as a mini like introduction to lots of classic 2D genres, I think, for younger gamers. Because, like, if you're familiar with the gimmick, like, Peach is at a theater that has been cursed by a witch or something. Or something. It's cursed by a witch. And so she has to go through the different plays and assume the lead role and save the day. And so she's constantly, like, you know, one level she's a sword fighter, next level she's a ninja. This is not a good first run. Got off to a good start. But then within those, besides the fact that they slightly alter the base gameplay anyway, like the ninja mode has like very light stealth elements, but they're light enough that they're well executed and not frustrating. And they're just fun. I haven't got to a level with the Kung Fu outfit yet, but even as I was playing it, I was like, Greg and I might have to do an episode on this where we discuss, like, to what extent is this a beat 'em up? Because even like Sword Fighter Peach, there's a little bit of beat 'em up. I don't think it's actually. I think it's much closer to being like a character action, like a Bayonetta type experience. Light, you know, Bayonetta for children. Pause while I'm having a sip. But yeah, so I only played the first world, but it's a ton of fun. But yeah, even within the different costume variants, like Ninja Peach, besides having like her core element being very light stealth, you also get... I knew that guy was coming even though he was cleverly hiding behind my face. I should have gone for that. Oh. Blew that one. But Ninja Peach also has little segments that are like an endless runner. And Cowgirl Peach has her own like mechanic for the standard like mild platforming, mild brawler combat gameplay. But then she also has segments where she's riding a horse that play into your sort of, you know, like, what if the speeder bike levels in Battletoads, what if the speeder bike level was good? Like, what if it was well designed and fun to play? This is not a good first run, but it's also not terrible. Until I missed both of them. And yet I somehow survived. Oh, more than halfway. Okay. Get it together, man. So, I'm finding it charming as hell. Like, I don't know, because I am past the point of my life where I can keep up 100% with the Nintendo release schedule while also pursuing my other interests in life. Even my other interests just in video games. So, I don't know that I would have chosen to get this game. Except that it came out literally the day before my birthday. So when Danielle asked, like, what kind of games could I get you for your birthday? I was like, well, it's a sign. Oops. When I get them both, I do it by swinging around and shooting that one in the back. Remember how close I was on my very first try today? You can hit them for like a moment. It would. It absolutely would, because like it would give me a slightly larger hitbox, but that would hardly matter. And I can't remember, but does having the fire flower make the clown car better. Let's give it a shot. Okay, well. That part could have gone better. What I'm really excited about with this Princess Peach game is to, next time Danielle's brother's in town, get her niece. And I mean, for all intents and purposes, she's also my niece. She's gonna marry Danielle to make it official. Because, like, this Princess Peach Showtime is a terrific game, I think, for any child, but, like, for, like, cool little girl whose mom is making a concerted effort to raise her to be a, feminist, like a feminist, but also just the general idea of you can do anything you want, you can be who you want. I think it's a great game for that message, in addition to being a bunch of fun. And then, like, Peach gets a bunch of cool dresses. When we gathered for the get-together last night, before I put the Jackbox on, I still had Peach, like, in and on. And the guests wound up being like, show us the game. Like, not all of them, but some of the guests were like, show us the game, show us the game. And Lauren absolutely loved the dresses. She was very thrilled. You can customize the patterns on Peach's gown and stuff. Unlock new ones as the game goes on. Once you fall behind and let them start getting shots off, it really cuts down on how many of them you're going to get your own shots off at while staying alive. That was risky. I don't know that that was worth it in any obvious way, but it paid off. Ah. The clown car was such a great addition. Simply because it opens up the possibility of, like, just let's let the player base themselves figure out how the basic Mario mechanics can be used to make fun shooting games. Horizontal scrolling shooters. Oh! That was going so well. And then I just didn't pull out fast enough. Or pull up fast enough. I had the time. I literally just didn't press up soon enough. Managing to hold the lower ground on the first pass, I think, is the heart of this. That's where all the hard stuff is. But if you can hold the lower ground, stay low, and get that big cluster of spinies. I didn't get the big cluster of spinies, but I got a lot of them. Up and over. No need to try to weave between the two of them, even if it feels cool when you pull it off. Okay. 9. 9 of them. Tried to grab the super mushroom and failed. I did take out that spiny first time through. Okay. Arg. Okay, there's 3 of them. Only a foolish mistake can stop me now. Yes, I'm saying those words out loud. Daring the gods. Yeah. Well, I'm not invincible, in fact, as we saw from the sound effect. That part has not been replicated. The star is not there. Or I guess maybe the star is there, but you've destroyed it. Right, of course. Maybe I can't get the star if I don't destroy it. Ha 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 ha. Alright. Boom. Feels good. Nice. I like it. Oh, wouldn't you know? Our Rosalina-haired friend has the record, and it's much faster than mine. Excellent question, British. How do I... How do you revisit prior worlds? Can you even do that? I might have to just go into my courses afterwards. Man, I love Mario 3. And one of the many great things about Mario 3 is how cool the sky world is. How you start with a little sub area in the ground before you get up to the sky and then have all the cloud worlds. One, but it's acorn parkour. Okay. I think I understand the base gimmick here because I've already done leaf parkour. The real problem is going to be, how does the control scheme work? Well, it doesn't work if you're not going to do it much better than that. Guess the main thing is getting air off that first Goomba. Possibly with this spin jump. Hold on. No, not with the spin jump. Oh, right. Okay. Now I remember how Flying Squirrel Mario works. That might open up some possibilities here. Or not. Trying to turn around, grab that one so I could maybe hop from it over. Oh, not able to cling to the side of bricks in the first place. Good to know. Ooh, I should investigate. Oh, it does? And that's essential. Okay. Thank you, British. Now we're opening up possibilities. I know it wouldn't have been faithful to the theme, but I wouldn't have objected. Oh, but it's very much one time. I guess maybe it renews if I get another landing. Let's find it. Yes. Okay. Okay. This is coming together now. This is fun. Another good Mario Maker gimmick applied to a beloved classic level. Cannot use the jump that soon. Gotta drift over the first putt. Whoop, that was needlessly complicated. Arrgh. I got greedy. Trying to get too far without checking in at the ground. No. Okay, this part is gonna be... There's the hard part. Oh, man. You'd wanna like... Let's see. Yikes. Dough. It's not entirely clear to me yet, like, what is the strategy going to be to cover that enormous gap? I stopped holding the action or run button there without thinking about it. I was not covering enough distance. Got greedy. Oh, man. Maybe it's like, get enough drift to drift in here, grab that wall, hop off, then go like this? No. But what if I pulled it off to catch this wall? Oh, and of course it's temporary. Okay, that would do it. Simple then, right? I should have to do something extraordinarily difficult. With aplomb. Oh dear. Oh, you know what? How long I hold the how long I hold the trigger on the mid-air bonus jump actually matters. It's not a. I was thinking of it like the beanie hat. Just hit the spin and get a super high jump. But no, you get a little bit more. There we go. Okay. I keep just wanting there to be enough momentum to soar right past that part without having to make it weave my way down to the ground. I gotta start, like, obviously it's ideal to hit that Goomba while he's up on top, but I gotta start just actually judging whether I'm going to do that and adjusting course and doing it the slower multi-Goomba way when it's not working at or the single Goomba way. Okay. You want as much rightward momentum as you can get. Ugh. Finally pulled off the jump I was trying to do at the start, where you catch the Goomba on the way up. And it was not the way to go at all. Not even close. Oof. It's fun, though. It is fun. For all that the analog sticks in the all Switch era controllers are obviously disappointing, I'll say this for the quality of the Switch Pro controller build. With the amount of pressure I'm putting on the action button to hold it down, the fact that I'm not snapping the controller in half is a testimony to its durability. I actually have the headphones I'm wearing right now are broken now because while taking them off recently, I put too much lateral force. Arg! I was trying to. I think actually kind of coasting in between there, in between the top one and the bottom ones, and really getting some rightward drift going might be the key to hitting one of those Goombas there with enough momentum to make it to the last part of the challenge. Oh well. That's not quite what I was talking about. Oh well. Okay, no. Now, even if that is a wise move for someone who can pull it off, I don't think I'm going to be pulling it off regularly enough. I should try to find a way without doing that one particular hero move. Or, I guess, there, that's that. Oh! I should have resisted the urge to use the jump there. Okay, off the Koopa Troopa, then drifting through in between the different blocks, and perhaps hitting that Goomba with some rightward momentum and getting control of my destiny through to the end. Maybe. Maybe. At least I don't have to watch my lives count disintegrate every time that I don't pull this off. Nope, that was not at all the dream. No. Breaking the momentum is going to mean if when you're drifting through, you don't have enough momentum to not land on that block. So at least that verifies that the move I've been trying to talk myself out of trying is actually... I shouldn't be trying, it doesn't work. Oh, man. This part. Is it actually a matter of going slowly enough through here that the Goombas are just coming back? Let's see. Could patience be the answer? Patience and perseverance. Yeah, nope. I mean, maybe, but it's a tricky kind of patience. Because you would have to... As you're taking out the Goombas, you're changing the rate at which they're going to be coming back. It's tricky. So this is the last day of our 3-week having this as regular on the schedule, because next weekend I'm turning to my fill the gaps in my classic PC gaming knowledge with a themed weekend of Devastation, King's Quest, Mask of Eternity on Saturdays, and then Quest for Glory 5, Dragonfire on Sundays. Two beloved series that notably, famously, didn't make as smooth of a transition to the 3D era as the beloved Mario series was able to. Okay. What if I bounced off the Koopa and then went back, bounced on one of the Goombas, and then they've started marching right? Maybe. It's harder than the Leaf one was. And so, good sequencing once again, because the Leaf one obviously happened much sooner in the overall experience. This brings in, obviously, pretty much the same gimmick, but with a mechanic that isn't quite as easy to pull it off with, at least not for me. No. And if I'm bouncing on those Goombas, I'm stopping them from going back. Okay. I don't think... Maybe patience is not the answer. Maybe plowing through somehow is the answer. But, while this will not be a regular on my schedule, after this weekend. We're not done with it. I will return to it from time to time because I think it's great. And also because with the academic year coming to a close soon and my workload getting a lot more rational, well, I've been kind of bitten by the creator bug from doing this stuff. Maybe I want to really do some interesting Mario Maker stuff. Darg. Yeah, what am I going to do here? Okay, hold on. Let me clear some space for myself. Not that I would ever have this space cleared, but just validate the idea that this... Oh, damn it. Could even be done. Okay. If I'm over here, if I were able to catch right there at the top, and then soar like that, I would not pull it off. Oh, wait. I can slow the rate of my fall by repeatedly spinning. Alright. That'll be great for my 39-year-old index finger. But it's only bouncing off the enemies that refreshes your ability to do the spin. Catching the wall doesn't give it back to you. And it's not as simple as just spam the trigger spin alone. You still need to figure out an optimal launch route. Yeah. Okay. I think this will come together. I think we'll get to see more variations today. I would like to hope. Ha! I have not played Mario Galaxy 2 in a few years, but man, I love that game. And that game and the sort of circumstances of its creation really make me hope we get a Super Mario Wonder 2 sometime early on in the Switch 2 life cycle. Because kind of what happened with Mario Galaxy 2 was that Nintendo's usual approach to making a new 3D Mario game is that Miyamoto requires the developers to spend an entire year just working on Mario's movement and control before they even start creating levels or anything like that. And because they had obviously already done that, I was not trying to wall jump. Because they had already done that for Mario Galaxy 1, they didn't have to spend that year. So with the same development time, it was just that much more time to come up with level ideas. And I think that was the first time they employed their practice. Maybe it was not the first time, but I know it's a time they employed their practice of saying, you know what? Absolutely everybody is allowed to come up with a cool idea for a galaxy and submit it. And any ideas that you have for this game. And we'll just pick the best ones. And that's also what they did for Mario Wonder. Everyone, including like the admin assistants and whatnot, were allowed to say like, hey, here's an idea for a Wonder Seed and a Wonder Effect. So if they make a Mario Wonder 2 relatively soon, once again, unintentional. Okay, hold on. Maybe this is actually... If nothing else, I got a whole lot of 1-ups, so instead of starting over, I'm gonna toss myself.
Oh no!
Oh, sorry. I shouldn't be crunching ice into the microphone. Drinking cold brew today. Usually I have tea in the afternoons, but I figured cold brew coffee is not going to be as hard on my stomach as if I was drinking a bunch of hot brew coffee in the afternoon. And indeed, that has worked out so far. Okay. Monitoring my... Oh, I see. Arg. That sort of felt like a good start, but I was just... didn't have enough height. I don't know. This one is tough. But I'm monitoring my inner state to see if I will not keep doing this when I've stopped having fun. I will put a pin in it and say, hey, we're coming back to this and eventually I'll get through it. But we can go find out the mystery of that other one. See if I can beat any of the hard ones that I've skipped. That was not at all going to be the way. Okay, so it's not about wall jumping. It's that if you change your trajectory, just the jump seems like you've wall jumped. Because it's not just up, it's forward in whatever direction you're facing, which has weird effects on your momentum. Okay. Not weird effects, it just suddenly arrests your momentum if you've turned around but not reversed it yet. Arg! I don't know, man. I don't know about this. The doubts are creeping in because I still just don't even see it. I can't see in my mind's eye what I'm even trying to do. Well, let's experiment again. Is there some kind of hypothetical here where I'm going to get enough momentum off one of these guys? If only there was another up there Goomba on the upper levels that I could hit. I don't know. I don't know. Not the way. Tried to go back and correct. I ought to just check out the underground, see if there's any kind of Easter egg. There's no way that it can be the solution here because you can't land on a pipe to go down it without breaking the rule. Okay. Once again, just trying to increase my confidence this can ever be done. I know it can be, obviously. Had to beat it to upload it. I can see that someone's got the record. So they've beaten it. Can't even get a good test going. Okay. I'm going to run to the washroom really quickly. So, brief intermission here. I'll be right back. Bang my head against this for a little bit longer, and then make a tough decision about whether it's time to just put a pin in this for now and check out some of the older ones that I skipped and figure out, I don't know, what else should we do for the duration here. Or maybe it'll all come together. Let's keep our hopes on that, but we'll see. Hang tight, gang. I'll be right back with you. All right, and we're back at it. Let's see. It's tricky. It's tricky to make the decision here about when to give up for now. Because I want to see all these. So eventually, I guess I could just go to check the courses out individually, but I want to finish Super 1 World. So if I give up, it's only temporary. But the problem here is that this is like the acorn parkour challenge is mechanically satisfying enough that doing these parts over and over, I'm still having fun. It's just fun to navigate and hit the Goombas and time your pop-up jumps and all that stuff. But I'm not developing a clear mental picture. Indeed, British. I'm not developing a clear mental picture of like what I'm trying to do. So when I get to this part, it's just what's the trick? What can I do? Let's look in the underground. It's just the traditional underground. Wait, is there a cool Easter egg up here? No. So what I might actually have to do, it's kind of funny how many games I have pounded my way through on the stream while resisting walkthroughs. Like Star Control 2, getting 2 complete failed states and having to start the whole game over until I finally figured it out. I might actually have to like find a YouTube video of someone else beating this just to understand what I'm trying to do. And I think it is this like hang out long enough that the Goomba's going back, hit it right near that thing with like downward curving momentum. But if that's the case, I do feel like maybe seeing someone else do it might turn out to be essential to me, like not getting sick of this. So, okay, keep trying for now. Well, at least I'm getting a bunch of 1-ups. Ah. Although it wouldn't have mattered. It would have been satisfying if I'd hit the timing right on that, done the super high jump. Even though it was too late, validated that I can do it. It can be done. This is another one of those things where I bet if I had spent more... I didn't spend nearly as much time with Mario Maker 2 as I did with the first one. Just because the time in my life that it came out, I had less overall time to devote to these kinds of things. And I think if I'd spent more time just playing other acorn parkour courses, maybe I would have a better grasp of the finer points. Which is actually part of what has made this such a charming experience. I'm getting to... Oh my goodness. I mean, no, but... No, but... You could see how... If I had also pulled off the swing back around, catch a right-facing wall, hop off it, coast a bit, that could have actually worked. Do I remember exactly what I did? No, not at all. Can I replicate it? Quite possibly not. But I'll try. A few times. Okay, so that's where I did it. It was just that I was coasting through here off the bounce. But if you're coasting through there off the bounce, you're not going to clear this to catch on this side, to go like that, to go like this, to mash this button, to catch onto there, to hop off, to still not quite. Damn. I can see once you get to those Goombas, you hit one of them, and then you delay so that you can get the other one when it's coming back closer to the stairs. Closing the gap, but I still don't have a clear picture for this particularly challenging part. Man. And I have no sense of how to wall jump with Squirrel Mario, it seems. Can't catch on to those bricks without landing on the stairs. I was like, well, maybe I cling here and I can pull something off. Well, I don't even know if I've actually made progress towards getting it, but I feel like I have. And so now I'm in it. I'm in it to keep trying. Here's a fun thing that might happen on this channel, maybe in the coming months, I should say, which is that Rich has reported to me. I think I've already mentioned that he bought his young son Ethan a game for Christmas, Dungeon, the board game, which is like it's a Dungeons and Dragons board game for children that really simplifies the whole concept of a dungeon crawl. And Ethan absolutely loves this game, which has been great for Rich because Ethan's previous favorite game was Snakes and Ladders. So while Dungeon is a pretty simplistic game, it does have at least some, like, there's player agency and like decisions to be made, which is just obviously much more compelling for an adult than Snakes and Ladders, where all the player does is roll the die. Anyway, so this all builds around to Rich mentioned to me that Ethan has declared that he wants us to do a stream of Dungeon. So we might get James in with Ethan. I got to figure out logistically, like, how do we set this up? Do we have young Ethan wear like a fun mask or something? Because like, it's his idea. So in one sense, he very obviously consents, but he's also a child. Will he later in life be like, oh man, it's really embarrassing that people can see me as a kid getting really excited every time I kill a monster and going, "Quest him!" Which he says every time because on the simple, the combat system in this game is just you open up a door, you draw a monster card, you roll 2 dice, and you either killed it or you didn't. Based on the value you get, and if you don't kill it, it gets to attack you, and every monster just rolls for the same table of outcomes, and the worst outcome says crushed. And if you get crushed, your character's defeated, you lose all your treasure, you have to go back to the start. And so Ethan's really internalized that, so that every time he defeats a monster, he goes, "Crushed him!" Anyway, it's one of those things that, through a child's eyes, like I would get, if Rich had just bought this game and invited me over to play with him, I would be bored of hell as it. Bored as hell with it. Like almost immediately. Because there's just not a lot going on. But you throw in a kid who's just like this game seems like a bottomlessly exciting experience. that is like firing up his imagination. What a delight. So we might do that sometime. In a world of infinite time, I have many ideas of things I would like to do here, even beyond just like all the games I would like to play by myself, which includes, I always thought a board game night at 58 Dream Street. I don't know, like I still don't even quite have the like camera and microphone set up, like conceived in my mind, but just like have some friends over, check out a board game, play it, maybe both release the full play, but also chop it up to make a shorter review video, try different games out. Would be fun, but it's like, man, that's a tricky... Oh, British, that's absolutely, that's a great idea. Let's test it here. Oh. It's gonna be tricky, but yes. Yes. Okay, so now, a mechanically challenging task, but I understand what I'm trying to achieve. My engagement in this level is renewed. I got a couple of new board games for my birthday yesterday. Okay. But how to get there then becomes the question. Actually, I ought to validate, what if I was able to do it a little sooner? Because no, I think you've saved us. I think you've saved the day, British. I think this is going to work out. I think actually it might be viable if, like, it's definitely easier to catch the right side of the first set of blocks there. And so, oops, stopped holding down the jump button. And so if I can do that, and if that jump will give me enough air to get to the last place, then we have a pathway. And then, as I have often lamented, I'm just going to start screwing up the parts that I have actually like solved. Ah, thought I could recover. But yeah, so I got an expansion to the board game Root, which is a really cool sort of territorial control game, I guess, a war game. Okay. Geez. Even bouncing off these guys, it is going to be tough. But I should validate now that I can do it. It actually, if it's viable, it actually might be, maybe it's not even viable. Although, what if I grab this side? So close and yet so far. $5,407 people have played this. Now it can't grab the inside of the pipe either. Okay. I'm nearing my limit. For today. Not forever. We will clear this level. We will experience the rest of Super 1 World in the fullness of time. What if is there something I can work out? Well, at least I have... Okay. Here's a way to have many more Goombas clustered up. Ah. Surely not how the pros do it. Whoever has the speed record, I doubt that they were camping on these two well-aligned bricks. Oof. But maybe, just maybe, it can work for me. Yeah, so Root is it's a game of animal factions in a forest fighting for domination of the forest. And in the base game, the sort of core gimmick. Okay. Let them cluster up. Let's see, can we do something with this? No, not if I do that, like a fool. And I actually I'm still not seeing it. I thought it was coming clear for a minute, now I'm not so sure. And the core gimmick is that each of the factions, although there are some core rules that affect all players, like who controls a forest clearing and how, and like what are the battles like, and what are the item cards like, and what do they do? And every player is trying to win by getting 30 victory points. How each player plays the game, what skills and abilities they have, what mechanics their faction plays by, and how they score victory points in the first place. It's different for every player, for every faction. And so the expansion adds 2 new factions and allows the game to expand to be a 6-player game, which is also pretty cool. There we go. And then I got a game called Minara, which Danielle and I played at our board game cafe when we went there on our anniversary earlier this month. And it is a tower building game where the players cooperatively have to, with a combination of the core map tiles. This is not coming together for me. The core map tiles, which are like, differently shaped cardboard tiles, and little wooden pillars. That one of the core gameplay mechanics is how you lay your pillars down and construct a base of columns. And then you try to put more tiles on top of the columns and build a tower of a certain height. And obviously you lose just as a team if you knock the thing over. And we had a ton of fun with it. And luckily, although it seems to be out of print, it turned out the board game cafe themselves had 1 copy left on the shelves. Although apparently, for whatever reason, our board game cafe was the last place in the entire city that Danielle thought to check. So it was quite an ordeal for her, but she found it, she got it for me. So I'm excited for that. If I could get this, if I could wrangle my many friends with their responsibilities so that we could do board game night at 58 Dream Street, that would be a fun one for it. Oh man, I did too well that time. overshot the Goomba. Alright. I need to feel like I've had another breakthrough soon. Ah. If Mario... Okay, maybe I just had a breakthrough. I don't think I did, but maybe I did. If it's possible for Squirrel Mario to hop off that lower block and catch the right side of those blocks above, that could be a way to do this. As long as there's hope. I'm motivated to keep on trying. Ugh. Okay, well, validate. It's not working. Oh, can Mario just not grab another thing as Squirrel Mario? Because he's clearly getting it. Oh, he can get it. And then I guess the other missing piece... Well, hold on. Let me test this. The other missing piece then, I guess, is torturing your finger with the trigger button to slow Mario's descent. Okay. This is hard. Even just like... It worked once, right? Did we all see that? Did that happen? Am I dreaming that? Oh, there it is. Okay. Now, of course, what I need to do is get the timing just right. Okay, so going from there, Mario's feet will hit the second stairway. So I would want to do the pop-up after passing the first one. Maybe. I hope so, because this is obviously, of our 3 sessions, going to be by far my worst clear rate. If I give up on this one, having only cleared a single level. Not sure why I've done this, but I have. Ah. What is it that makes it work when it works? What am I doing differently when it works than when it doesn't? I don't know. Not quite what I was looking for. I think that's a viable path, but it's going to be hard. And maybe it's not a viable path. It's an edge case. I certainly haven't proven that it can be done this way. But I want it to work. I want to see more variations. And so I carry on. Got greedy. Boom. Ta-da. Up on this guy. Through here like this. Catch onto this. Pop around. Bounce. Catch it. And then just... Okay. What on earth is it that makes it work sometimes and not other times? I still don't know. But it feels plausible. Oh, you know what I ought to try? Take this to the next level. I'm just gonna go experiment with it right now. Can I use a grip on that first one to navigate myself around and catch the closer right-hand side? And can I figure out what the difference is between when this works the way I want it to and when it doesn't? No. I don't have a clue why it works sometimes and it doesn't other times. That's fine. I'm just testing anyways. I'm not even testing. I don't even need to kill those Goombas. Why did I need it? I don't know if I've ever, even as a child, taken a legitimate hit from a Goomba on the first stage on 1-1. If I didn't have this thing I wanted to test, I think that would have been the moment where I said, screw it. I saw that I'd messed that up, and I still went for the high Goomba. Just want to test my theory. Don't even need to put it into practice. If I validate the theory, try a few times, can't get it, I can accept defeat for today. Ah. Well. I'm finding new ways to make it impossible for me to test. I'm just gonna not even bother. Let's just run. Okay. Come on. Testing the theory. And also maybe figuring out why I sometimes pull this off and sometimes can't. Because even if the whole thing, if I can validate that the overall scheme will work, it's going to be very frustrating having to do the run up to here. Oh, no. If I'm going to pull that off, it has to be all with the original momentum. Oh, God. So when do I have to start steering back to the left? Because I think it'll be possible, but... And what am I doing differently that it works sometimes it doesn't? I still have no clue. Painful. Alright. Forget trying to do that, and let me just keep on. Let's make this work. Let's make it work. I don't know. I think I might need to get the other one to make it work. Okay. Ah, it saved itself there. Wait. Try again to validate that we can do this the shorter, simpler way. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yes, it can be done, but it's tricky. Okay. I'm entering my patience limits for today with this particular course. But at least I see a path. It seems viable. If, you know. Not viable if I pull that kind of nonsense. I want to do at least one attempt where I fail while trying to execute the scheme before I surrender. For now. No permanent surrender. Just, you know, retreat and regroup. Retreat and regroup. Or maybe I'm just now going to never be able to get past these blocks again. What happened to my timing? I had it. I had it. I mean, I know what I'm doing here that's screwing up. I keep on needing to circle back around. There we go. Okay. We're over the hump. The worst is over. It's not good, but I can recover. I can recover. Nope. Okay. Come on. Just a little bit further, dude, and you can actually at least try your idea. Oh. Obviously, I can't hit both of them underneath this. So I need to hit that first one to pop up, to get over here, to land on them again, to soar a little bit with some momentum. Now I can't stop now. I gotta keep trying. Oh. Well, the dream was over there. before I even touched the ground. It's dead before I even hit the ground. I feel like I'm fighting a Dark Souls boss here, in the sense that I keep on thinking in my head, okay, last try. And then when I fail on that last try, I'm like, wait, hold on. If I hit that first one, I should be able to just drift down. Oops. And then introducing that one wrinkle of just sometimes that jump works and sometimes it doesn't. It doesn't feel like I'm doing anything different. Is frustrating. If I was getting there every time, it'd be a little easier to bear. So, all right, maybe this is the last try. Probably not though. Please, Mario, just do the thing that I ask you to do. I am having fun. I'm reaching my limit for today with this particular stage. But if I beat the stage, I'm going to keep on going because I am still having fun. And I'm glad that you're having fun, British. If anybody is having fun watching me suffer, then it makes it worthwhile. What? I just wish I understood what the missing piece is there. What am I missing about the squirrel mechanics that sometimes he grabs that wall and sometimes he doesn't? I feel like I'm always catching the lower brick at the highest point, and then I'm jumping. I'm making sure that I'm pressing left after the jump. Is Squirrel Mario immediately slightly slipping when he grabs a wall? Maybe I'm just not doing it fast enough. Oh, so close. Okay. I think that's it. I'll keep trying it, and if I'm correct that it's literally just you got to do that the jump off the gripped wall or the gripped brick immediately. And baby, we got a stew going. Womp womp. Okay, come on. If only I had save states I could abuse to take us to the point where I can try it. I wouldn't, even if I had save states to abuse, I wouldn't use them to force my way through the challenge, but just being there to try it would be nice. Well, that part I definitely didn't grab at the highest possible point there. Maybe I should try on the pop-up right before I go to grab that brick to hit the middle of those 3 bricks and increase the odds that I grab it at the highest possible point. And then I gotta remember to jump as soon as possible in case there is indeed a little bit of height loss on the grip right from the start. Arrgh. Okay, come on, come on. Gotta start that one over because I stopped playing for a moment. All right, last 50 tries starts now. No, probably don't have 50 more tries in me, but we'll see. I don't know. I probably said that to myself before and then persisted to do far more than the number of tries I said I didn't have in me. Who knows? Who knows? Well, I picked start over, so I've still got the patience to keep trying. I can feel it wearing away, but it's still there. Well, I was sort of recovering there, and then I just didn't. At this point, I feel like the real hard part isn't even pulling off the managing those 2 Goombas to get it. It's getting your freaking claws into that brick to jump off to try them. Not at all sure what I was doing there. Okay, you know what? Do some more practice here and see if I can... Okay. No. It's gonna turn out that the problem is like I'm pressing up left instead of left. Just bad thumb positioning on the D-pad. Alright, trying it again. It might be the left thing. Okay. The next time that I pull off getting a shot at it, or the next time that I was that close to getting a shot at it, but the gripping the brick thing just didn't work out, is my last go. Actually, maybe a few more tries if the grip doesn't work. Okay, good. I gave myself that out just in time because I'm not ready. I'm not ready to give up. Hesitated. And it cost me everything. Okay, next time I get a shot at it, even if what lets me down is just that I can't grab that brick, that's when I'll call. Not any of these losses that happened earlier, though. They don't count. Do 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 do. I think the main New Super Mario Bros. Level music is kind of the whole New Super Mario Bros. Series in microcosm, where it's totally pleasant. It's not a bad tune by any means. It does, specifically with the way the idea of the Koopas, all the enemies in the level. Sorry. Ah. I did it so well that I soared over it. I can't stop. I mean, I can, and I will soon, maybe. But yeah, totally charming song. The synthesized voices that go bop bop. I mean, they're probably not synthesized voices, but man, they sound plasticky. And I think there's a degree to which the whole aesthetic of the new Super Mario games can be kind of fairly derided for seeming a little plasticky. And then just beyond that, it's just kind of like, it's a nice relaxing song, I guess. It certainly doesn't have the energy, the bounciness that you want. And ultimately, like the new Super Mario Bros. Games, they're all good, they're fine. They even have moments, I would say, that are pretty great. Like solid level design, especially in the later ones. And the chaotic multiplayer on the console ones is pretty fun if you are in the right mindset for them, like, you know, not capturing what would be the optimal way for people to cooperate like this. Super Mario Wonder probably got that right by being like, they just shouldn't really interact physically in the space. But okay, that's it for now on this. Put a pin in it, I'll come back. Indeed, if I understand what the ninjas are correctly, you can see that the ninja count goes down drastically for every stage immediately after this one. This might have been the wall for several players, quite a few players maybe. Okay. Well, hey, those were the shot. 1,000 shots. And we'll go back to it, and we'll get it in the fullness of time. Okay, then if I look at my liked courses, we can go back to the shoot 'em up one and find out what was going on. With the pipe, is there anything to be done in the underworld? Oh, neat. It's fun to look at, but literally impossible to actually play. It's just there to say, no, you're barking up the wrong tree. Cool. Cool. Fair enough. Okay, well. It is going to be a shorter stream today, which is fine by me, but I'm not going to stop right now. It is. It's nice that even when it's there to just be like, you know, don't do this. that they took the time to make it feel good. Make it feel like something. Okay, looking at my own state, you know what? I played 2 of my own levels last time. I'm gonna play 2 more. I saw that this one, it didn't get a new heart, but someone played it at least. I don't really remember. I think that, I mean, I remember the basic idea of this, which is that it's mechanically a very simple, just like, it's vertical. You gotta go up and down in the underground. Is it any good? I wish that there was some mechanism by which my... Other than dusting off my Wii U, that I could experience my Mario Maker 1 courses. I made far more of them. And there were quite a few that I thought were pretty cool. Whereas, I don't know how much I'm blown away. Like, this is fine. But like, those, what was the username? Chilla recommended a couple of levels, courses that I tried last time, that were also, you know, vertical type levels that I thought were more compelling than this. But I don't know. What if I have something up my sleeve? I should keep going. I certainly did have a fine-tuned sense of how it's a little tricky. The way that I lined those paratroopers up. Is this all just coins? Thought maybe I made a secret area where you could get another power-up. But I was not so kind. Yeah, it's really cool how well 1-1 serves as a base for all of these different gimmicks. Like, obviously... Whoa. Yeah, I don't know that that was, like, the nicest thing I could have done as a creator. Not my finest work. Especially, like... compared to at least my memories of my Mario Maker 1 levels. But then also, even just the 2 of my own Mario Maker 2 levels that I played last week, were definitely better than this. I understand what I was getting at there. Like, there are visual cues, including that you can see it on your way in. So if you paid attention and made a note, you know where you're trying to drop. Oops. Oh, hey, extra man. And then if I fall like that, the mushroom in the background is a good guide. Take the spike tops out by turning them off and on again. Make that part a little simpler. Okay, this is kind of... I like this. In concept, let's see how I actually execute it. Shell clears the path for you. My own face, not well situated here for gameplay purposes, but... Alright. Yeah, that was okay. I'd give it like a solid 3 stars. Nothing remarkable. Didn't get much traction. Like, I only ever wound up uploading 5 courses. And I think the people were right. To much higher Actually, the rate is not that different. Like almost 1/6 of people playing this one hearted it versus 25% for this one. You know what? Maybe I should... What? Okay. Just to wrap up today, let me play all of the levels that I uploaded. See what I think. In hindsight. I know that I made a whole lot of levels with this exact gimmick. Nothing can kill you, but all sorts of things will obstruct your attempt to make your way through in time. And I think my Mario Maker 1 like suite of levels like this, I made a ton of them. I think most of them were more fun than this one. But this is pretty fun. I also really developed the feel. I'm saying developed the feel for overcoming these frustrating challenges in the course of making it. And even as I'm saying that, I'm screwing it up. Uh-oh. That's pretty fun. It's not bad. Certainly, like, between Super 1 World and then just looking at the stuff that I did and being like, some of this is okay, but I'm positive that I did better with the first one. It's really given me that, like, yeah, I want to play this more. I want to make more courses when I have some time. Okay, so my puzzle level, yeah, okay, it's a puzzle that I made. I know the answers to the puzzles, but I thought this was pretty cool. Valley of the Ice Mirrors. So right off the bat, establish the gimmick. Wherever you see a wall of ice, you should expect the things to match on either side. Whoa, once again. And once we communicate that idea of symmetry, then we can get down to using it. Hey, these two things aren't exactly the same. There's a P block. I hit the P block, of course. I can do that, but I could also... See how generous I was? The P blocks start coming out so that you can't get in a dead-end state if you didn't react fast enough. Thoughtful design. So then, we have this other place. Hey, there's a key floating on the other... It'd be nice to have a key. How can I get that? Well... There's also... Uh-oh. There are other options. Oh, this is the other option. And that one has a spring in it. And if I bring that over here, I can reveal the key. Fun! Just in case you forgot, the gimmick, this little scene reminds you, is that it's mirrored. And then we get into Crazy Town. Spot the differences. This part, actually, every time I've replayed this level of my own creation, this is the part where I wind up being like, hold on. What's the trick here? There's a P block. And then I can hit this. And again, just in case you missed what's going on. A new P block so you don't get stuck. Timer bob-ombs appear. Short fuse bob-ombs. But I don't want them coming when I try to get through. And now we can get through. Whoa, and now we're through the mirror, so it gets trippy. And the goal is now... Whoops. It's not going to work out with that one. Oh, wait, yes it could. The goal now, of course, is to get that key. Uh-oh, kicked it too far. So I need a Bob-omb to cooperate with me here. Perfect. And then a celebratory little scene where I can rack up some more coins and also do a little bit of upside down platform jumping through the pipe back to the overworld. The celebration music plays. One last little mirror gimmick. And we're done. Easily the best thing I ever did in Mario Maker 2. And possibly up there with stuff that I did in the first one, where I made a lot more levels, and so just by the sheer rate of them, probably had more hits than I did in my 5. Thank you, Cedric. I thought it was a cool idea. I was pretty pleased with how it came out. I really do think, like, of the 5 I uploaded, and there aren't any that I didn't upload that are better than the 5 I uploaded. It just didn't really hit the same heights. It was not as prolific, among other things. But of the 5 I uploaded, I think the Tomb one that I played last week and the Valley of the Ice Mirrors were by far my 2 where I had like a good idea that I then also executed well. But perhaps this summer, perhaps in the coming months, I will turn it around. Okay. Defeated by the first new variation I encountered today, but I'm not going to give up on it. We'll return to this in the fullness of time, but not next Sunday, because next Sunday we're diving in to Quest for Glory 5 Dragon Fire. But the academic year is coming to a close soon, and this is going to be my least stressful May-June term, because the 2 preceding years, the first one, I was in a desperate scramble to find someone who would teach my July-August course so that I could take a vacation. And when I found her and secured her, I had to like put all the materials together to show her the course so she could teach it. And then the next year, the dream is to just rehire the same person, but she had got a real academic job that was paying her and giving her security and letting her teach things, teach English literature, which is what she wants to do. And so she couldn't do it again. But she didn't find out until like into May that she couldn't do it. And then like a desperate search began, because it was like, well, someone's got to teach the course. I'll just be stuck. They'll, I won't. And so basically what I'm saying is that those 2 months, both those years in a row, all of my taking advantage of May, June, July, August being much freer even when I'm at work, turned out to be that I did nothing. I didn't even really plan what I would do during the vacation proper until it began. And so I didn't really branch out as much as I wanted. And this time around, I've already secured the person. We've initiated the hiring process, and they also told me, you know what, we'll just cancel the class. Don't stress out. So with that stress taken away, and this winter term going pretty smoothly so far, I'm really looking forward to using May and June to kind of expand what's going on here and to think of what I'll actually do with my extra free time when the proper vacation comes in July into August. Which is all to say, even with new adventures coming in for the Saturday, Sunday, we're going to be back in Super 1-1 World sooner than later. And I'm hopefully, like I said, going to make something new. We'll try that sooner rather than later. Hopefully I can find a YouTube video of someone else beating this. I'd obviously prefer to figure it out myself and conquer it on my own, but I have not done that. And I mean, it's quite possible I will go and find a video and the person is just doing exactly what I was just trying to do, but pulling it off properly. But when we return to this, I will beat that level. I'll beat that course, and we'll try more. And it'll be fun. Yeah, exactly. Got to approach it in a way where I don't ruin it for, like, what I want to do is just keep having fun doing this. So, I will. If maybe what it comes down to is I beat that one level off air, just like in my spare time, and then when I know that's clear, we come back. Oh, Stupinski, terrible timing, my friend, but welcome to the wrap up. But yeah, we'll get back in there. Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing about the Dragon in a Box adventure, but you'll have to tell me sometime soon. And perhaps by the time, maybe, I don't know. I got 2 board games for my birthday yesterday. And the one I'm most excited about is an expansion to Root, which is a game I really like. I don't know that I'm going to manage to wrangle enough people to try that. Thank you. By next weekend. So I don't know if I can tell you about the Marauder expansion to Root next weekend. But I also got another game. Hopefully play that, so I can share some board game tales with you, and you can regale me with the Dragon in a Box adventure next time. Or maybe, you know, if you manage to make it out on Tuesday for Greg and James Beat 'em Up. And yeah. And I'm looking forward to it. So, what do we have coming up? Tuesday. You know, this is always tentative because it's in the middle of Greg's work week, and I got to be understanding when he's not feeling it. But we're pretty sure we're finally going to do episode 50 of Greg and James Beat 'em Up and play our 50th Beat 'em Up at the same time. Konami's SPY, Special Project Y. The Y in SPY stands for Y. And yeah, and then back on the path to having played every beat 'em up that was released through the year 1993. The heyday of the beat 'em up. Then, on Friday, I got lost in the group chat. There was an extensive discussion yesterday about whether we're going to play on Good Friday or not. I think it was leaning towards we are, but I got to verify. But if we are playing on Friday, then Friday Night Frosthaven. Good Friday Night Frosthaven. As myself, Rich, Michaela, and Greg try to finish the crystal enclosure scenario. We're in a tight spot. I don't know that we can pull it off. But we're going to try. And then, what's the other thing I mean to say? Oh, and then it's the weekend. Oh no, if we're canceled on Friday, I might beat Lolo 3. If we don't do Friday Night Frosthaven, maybe that's the opportunity I'll grab. That'll be a good Friday. Finally beat that game. And then next weekend, we're pivoting back to the more common 58 Dream Street weekend experience of playing classic PC adventures and RPGs. On Saturday will be, well, classic. That might be not quite the right term. We're going to find out. Maybe these are overlooked classics. But we'll do King's Quest Mask of Eternity to cap off the King's Quest series starting on Saturday. And on Sunday, we'll start Quest for Glory 5 Dragonfire to cap off that saga. I've heard, the general impression I get is if nothing else, Quest for Glory 5 Dragonfire will provide satisfying narrative closure to the story. Even if we get to the end and we're like, well, that would have been more fun as just an extension of the graphical style and gameplay of Shadows of Darkness. We'll see. And then on into the future. Oh, Stupinski, you weren't here, obviously, when I was saying this. It is, especially in a game, in a series where they've encouraged you to have different pathways through the story. Largely, those pathways do converge on, like, you wound up saving the day and moving on to the next one. But yeah, I'm excited to see what they pull off there, because yeah, a five game narrative to end in a satisfying way. If they pull that off, no matter how ugly the graphics are, I'll forgive them. I'll say thank you for doing this. Yeah. But then also, Stimpinski, at some point in the future, Rich's son Ethan has declared that he wants to come to 58 Dream Street to do a stream of his favorite game, which is Dungeon, the Dungeons and Dragons dungeon crawl board game for children. So mechanically, that is not a very dynamic game, or narratively. But if we actually do that at some point in the next couple months, it will be a great stream, because young Ethan's enthusiasm for this game is just something to see. It makes up a lot for the fact that there's not really anything in the game to really grab the brain of a 39-year-old who has played a lot of role-playing games in his life. But yeah, all right. That's where we are, and that's where we're going. Awesome. If you stuck around to the end, thanks for sticking around to the end. If you came and you left, well, you can't hear my voice. I'm glad you stopped by anyway. So thanks for stopping by. And until the next time that we're eating those acorns and then just getting really frustrated as we try to grab onto those bricks, take care of yourselves and be kind to everyone you meet.